So I'm Rolfes with the Bucket Brigade, and just to put this in a little bit of perspective, this is obviously the State Police Training Academy, and they, are very delighted that we're here in support of this hearing of the Chemical Security and Safety Working Group. As y'all probably know, it's by executive order that this group is here conducting a listening session. So with that, I introduce General Russel Honoré.
Good morning or afternoon. We're here by an executive order from the President of the United States that say a hearing will happen here in Baton Rouge at State Police Headquarters, signed by the President of the United States, to do a hearing, listening hearing from the people in this area concerning the rules and regulations and how to improve safety at chemical plants across the United States. So they're doing one here in Baton Rouge and the other one's in New Jersey. As a citizen and a member of the Green Army, we welcome this hearing because this is an opportunity to bring safety of chemical plants into the 21st century. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, the chemical plants, of all the good things they do, all the great things they produce, everything from the microphones you have to some of the clothes some of us are wearing, they do great things for our nation and for the world. But on the other hand, they're self-regulated. We have seen from West Texas to Norco to Bayou Corn to Jefferson Island and Grand Bayou. We've got issues in the state of Louisiana, and most recently right on Highway 31, that accidents happen, releases happen, and the effort of the federal government, along working with the state of Louisiana here, to update our rules and regulations, because the rules and regulations we have cannot deal with the severity of the issue we have. We have somewhere around 100 chemical plants between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. What we're going to demand of the federal government is that they establish a federal agency in Louisiana that is on site, located in one of the most concentrated chemical regions in the world, right here in Louisiana, and come in and work with the state and fund some of the things that need to be done. Like number one, we want to have a rule in the law that they must be bonded to cover the community that might be damaged by their actions. If you were just to take West Texas, the most recent thing, FEMA had to go in and rebuild the school because the company didn't have enough insurance. That's ridiculous. If they're going to run the plant, they need to have the liability insurance and the bonding to cover that. Number two, we need to have an alert system with horns, sirens, as well as reverse 911 dialing. There's no requirement in the state to have any of that. So we are operating like it's the 1800s and we're in the 21st century. What is the minimum safe distance that people should be living near those plants? Right now, we don't have that established in Louisiana. And we trust a wire fence is the protector of the people of Louisiana, with no requirement for monitors at the nearest home. Louisiana law is the monitor is somewhere 3 to 4 miles away and not at the point of where the nearest human beings live. So there's no early notification to the people. A release. Releases happen, and you might find out about it, you might not find out about it. It goes to the media after the fact. We want the state to establish a function of minutes that the local population are notified if there's a release. We want the state and the federal government to stop giving exceptions and exemptions because it's good for the economy. Good for the economy is having a significant impact in Cancer Alley. We want the federal government to come in here and do something in terms of health care monitoring of the people that live near chemical plants. This is the United States of America. We fought 237 years ago to win our freedom. To give it up because these people create jobs, I like the fact they create jobs. Everybody, and then they got to pay their taxes. Now, this may not be a part of the White House plan, but here in Louisiana, we have to have a plan that they're paying fair taxes. And the final point behind that is we've got to have professional fire departments that are hazmat trained, certified by the federal government and the state. Right now, many of these plants rely on volunteer fire departments until the state police can get there with their team. Now you can go over the Sunshine Bridge, you have to go all the way to Norco. It's going to take time for the state police to get there. The first responders at the first fire department need to be a qualified fire department and not volunteer, and the companies need to pay for it. That need to be in federal law. Those are the points, the key points I plan to make today. I'll pass now to my colleagues.
So this is Darrell Malek-Wiley with the Sierra Club.
Yep, great. So what I've got here is a map that has been produced by the Center for Effective Government. So this map shows Baton Rouge and the petrochemical plants around it. What it has done is they're putting 1 mile radius around the plants. We know that that's not really a safe zone. We need to have much larger areas. And here in Baton Rouge, historically, we've had accidents at Honeywell, at Exxon, all these plants, and then we've had evacuations, and some community members are told, some not told. So what we want to talk about is making chemical plants safer. We know that that's possible. They work on safer chemical plants worldwide. Why do we have old chemical plants that break down in Louisiana? It's because we don't have effective government rules and regulations to really push these industries forward. And it's not just chemical plants, it's also pipeline safety and other things like that. But even if we look at Baton Rouge as an example, we could also look at the state of Louisiana, which is that one, which goes this way. And you can see it's not located in any one part of the state. We have clusters in Shreveport, Monroe, Baton Rouge, all the way down Cancer Alley, Lake Charles. So this problem is just not in Baton Rouge. It's all across our state. We have hundreds and thousands of citizens of Louisiana at risk from petrochemical plant accidents. And it's time for the government to move forward toward safer chemical products and really rethinking some of the chemical processes that we use today were designed in the 18th century. It's the 21st century. It's time to think about green chemistry and how to make products and production of those products safer for people who live around plants. And we'll stop any questions.
Let me say a couple of words.
Yeah, you can say a couple of words.
I'm Rolfes with the Bucket Brigade, and you know, when there is an airplane crash, right, we all know about the National Transportation Safety Board, right? It descends on the scene, you get that little black box, right? We're all so familiar with that process that we all know the terms. And yet, there is explosion after explosion. Last year in Texas, fatal explosions. Last summer here in Louisiana, right, just down the river in Geismar, right, there was a fatal explosion. The Chemical Safety Board is an entity that very few people have ever even heard of. Nor do we have any term like the little black box, right? We have no idea what this body does. And there's a good reason that we don't know about it. It's because it has absolutely no power, right? People are appointed to this board, and yet they have no authority to insist that the chemical companies or the oil companies or the gas companies or anybody else handling chemicals do anything. And that is one of our major recommendations today, which is to give the Chemical Safety Board the full authority of the law and to give it the same kind of teeth that the National Transportation Safety Board has. There's some details in that point, which we will be submitting in written documents to the working group that's here today. But I want to get from that larger level just to a micro level here in Baton Rouge, and really just to look at a single month. We have something called the Eyewitness Pollution Map. That enables regular people like you and me to report pollution when they see it via a text, a phone call, or getting online. Anybody care to venture how many reports we had in the month of January? Reports about pollution. Just a little guess from regular people.
I'm not regular people.
Yeah. No, not a guess from a regular person. All right. Nobody has any idea. So here it is, the report, the monthly report from our Eyewitness Pollution Map. We had, throughout the southern part of the state, 68 reports from citizens about smoke, about flares, about bad odors in their neighborhood. Now this map you probably have not heard of. It's not widely reported, and yet just going door to door and with the little advertisement we've been able to do, we have had in a single month 68 reports to the map. And here is one excerpt from Baton Rouge, which is, I live at Cedar Avenue, 1 mile away from ExxonMobil, and I see fire coming out of those two pipes. It's been burning for 40 minutes. And they give us the day and the time. And so you can see that in Baton Rouge you had 16 reports. And in Chalmette, which is near New Orleans, and Norco, and then up in Shreveport, there were 10 reports, right? There is pollution happening. There are chemical security breaches every week of the year in this state. And we're here as the Green Army and as our individual organizations working together, right? It's important that we work together as the Green Army to say enough is enough. It's why we're here today, to make sure that the Chemical Safety Board gets some teeth and gets some force of the law. And we're proud to have General Honoré as our leader.